Just for yucks, let's just pick whatever number you want to, that God, before he created the universe in 6 24-hour days, he was just all by himself for 100 gazillion billion years, even though it was infinitely more than that. God, all by his lonesome. But was he lonesome?
It is important that we understand that God did not create us because God was lonely, because God had a need inside of him that was unmet by himself. God did not create us because there was a hole in his holiness, or he did not create the universe to fulfill some need that he had. No, God was and is all-sufficient in himself. He is in need of nothing outside of himself.
That is the aseity of God. Self-existent, self-sustaining, self-satisfied. God, the eternally existent one, doesn't need us. He wasn't boo-hoo-hooing in heaven, just thinking, ooh, if I just had some rebellious people to hang out with, that would complete me. God doesn't need anything to complete himself. Do you see how this is the opposite of the self-esteem movement? Now, the self-esteemers would say, well, that's going to make people feel bad. Or there's an option to this. Maybe understanding God rightly helps us to understand ourselves rightly and actually creates qualities in us that we wouldn't have if we perpetually are thinking that we're really spanky.
It produces humility within us to think of the vastness and the greatness of our God, who has always existed and yet chose to create time and creation and the universe and even us. The more we contemplate the majesty and the greatness and the grandeur of our God, the more it humbles us. And God gives grace to the humble, does he not? God gives strength to those who are weak.
Oh, and conversely, he resists the proud. Seriously, which quality in a person do you prefer? Somebody who's puffed up? I have self-esteem. Let me tell you about me. Or do you prefer somebody who's meek, who is not assuming, who does not want to be the center of attention, who does not need to be at the front of the line or commanding every activity? Which quality do you prefer? Consider the benefits of understanding the aseity of God. When we understand he needs me as much as I need a rotten wisdom tooth. Is there any other kind? He does not need us. And yet, he actually made us, which should cause us to ponder, who am I that you are mindful of me? When we consider the aseity of God, not only does it create humility in ourselves, knocking us off of our self-esteem pedestal, but it also helps us to appreciate and love him more, that he would stoop to even know my name. He who names the stars, he who measures the universe with the span of his hand, is mindful of me, a nobody, a nothing. What does that tell me about God? It tells me he's really, really awesome.